Right, let's start at the King Power, where just one goal had plenty of ramifications. Trent Alexander-Arnold scored the winner in a 1-0 win for Liverpool to leave them one win away from the Premier League title and relegate Leicester back to the Championship. The match winner was later asked to clarify his future at the club, but refused to confirm or deny talk of leaving the club on a free transfer this summer. OK. Stephen, did this game actually sum up Liverpool's entire season? It was efficient, wasn't it, in the end? They got the job done and they move on.
Yeah, I think there's been a lot of talk about Liverpool this season, about the first half of the season being very impressive and then second half of the season probably not being as impressive. But when you look at the record and what they've done over the course of the season, it's working. And the way that they play, I think you used the word, they're efficient. I think that it was efficient yesterday in the way that they played the game, the amount of chances they created. It is a different style to what we're used to seeing under Jurgen Klopp, and it's not that gung-ho approach and throwing sort of 7-8 men sort of in advance every single time they attack. The more pragmatic, they think about the attacks a little bit more in the way that they balance the team. So might not be as pleasing on the eye as what you see from Jurgen Klopp's team, but it's certainly more efficient, and it's been very, very impressive.
Yep. Let's talk about Trent Alexander-Arnold, seeing as he's up there behind you, Sue. He's looking at you. He was the match winner. You love a stat on a Monday morning.
I love a stat,
don't you? How
Rob,
about
I
this?
do.
His first left-footed goal of his career.
Do you know, I've seen that. That's quite interesting, isn't it?
It is, good. Quite interesting.
It
All right,
is.
I'll try and do better next
Go on.
time.
Give me another one.
There's been plenty of talk around him and the contract. But the way he celebrated, what did you read into that?
It's funny because I think you read into everything, don't you, when you know that the contract situation is happening, and you could say, well, it was wild celebrations. Is that because it's, you know, maybe one of his last special moments in a Liverpool football shirt? Or do you go, actually, there's a massive connection between him and the fans, so that means that he's going to stay? So I think you can look at it both ways. I just think, again, he showed his quality when he came on. You needed a moment of brilliance, and how many times have we said that about Trent Alexander-Arnold? He's able to provide that moment. He's so intelligent with his movement, his passing range, whether it's a quality assist, the weight of pass that he puts through, whether that's for Mo Salah or any of the attacking players. I think if you're an attacking player playing with Trent Alexander-Arnold behind you, you know you make the run because you know he's going to find you. And yet again, it was a real moment of quality. So I think you can look at it both ways, can't you? You can look at it, well, he's still got that real connection and he still loves the club. And with Virgil van Dijk signing and Mo Salah signing, does that then mean he goes, oh, actually, you know, I could sign for Liverpool here and we could have years of dominance. You know, we're going to recruit again in the summer. Or do you go, I want a fresh challenge? So it's clearly going to be his choice in the end, isn't it? But it certainly was a moment of quality from Trent to win the game.
We just heard from him afterwards there, and once again, he repeated that he wouldn't speak about his contract situation and his future at the moment. Right. First of all, do you understand that? If he was to go, how will he be remembered? Because there has been, as you well know, plenty of criticism aimed at him.
It's interesting. The first question when you said, what do I think about the way he's handled the contract situation or the talks about it, he has literally come out and said the same thing every time. Now, we've spoke on this show about when Mohamed Salah spoke after the Southampton game, was it? And everyone was very critical of him. Why are you wearing it in public? Why are you coming out to the papers and saying certain things? So what do fans want of him? Because he's doing exactly what they said about Mohamed Salah, the opposite of what Mohamed Salah's done. And he's keeping it within himself and keeping his counsel and saying, no, I'll let it be known what I'm doing when I think it's the right time to. So, I think he's doing the right thing because he might not have made his mind up yet. There might be talks ongoing with Liverpool, which I'm sure there are. I'm still in the camp that I still think he's looking for his value at Liverpool. I still think that as a youngster coming through, you are paid less. I think there's a feeling that because you are an academy player and they haven't paid that fee for you, that they can sort of get away with that a little bit. But I think he knows his value at Liverpool and he wants paying what he thinks he's deserved, and he's probably waited until he's seen what Van Dijk and Salah have been given and thought, well, I want parity. I want the same as what they're on. I deserve that. But there still might be that feeling that he wants to go to Real Madrid and try a new challenge. So I've always been the same. I've never changed my tune on it. If he leaves with his head held high. I think he gets the full respect. Some fans won't agree with that. That's their opinion. But I think you have to give him full respect for what he's done. I heard people talking the other week saying, well, what sacrifices he made? He's been paid a king's ransom to do what he's done. He's made a hell of a lot of sacrifice over the years. From the age of 6 to become a professional footballer doesn't just happen. You don't just turn up one day and you go, oh yeah, you're going to play in the first team tomorrow. There's a lot of sacrifice along the way. There's a lot of sacrifice when you're a player as well to get to the stage where you're at. So yeah, I think whichever way he goes, he gets my full respect for whatever he decides.
It's a path that's been trodden before in recent years. McManaman, Owen slightly different maybe, because he would then go on and play for Manchester United, which would never quite sit well, I think, the understatement of the day with Liverpool fans. But McManaman was such a wonderful player for Liverpool and trod that path, but never really is hailed, is he, as a given the respect and the praise that he should have done for what he did at Liverpool now?
Yeah, quite possibly. I think Steve McManaman was probably the similar case as well. He's spoken openly about it recently, where he felt like he deserved more for what he was worth and the value, and Real Madrid matched that value of what he thought he was worth. Yeah, I understand that question, but Trent's won everything. Steve McManaman hadn't won everything at the football club. He's won literally every trophy there is to be that they can possibly win, and then they're going to win 2 titles under during his career at Liverpool. So if he goes during that and wins every single trophy, I think you can't really turn around and say, well, you didn't give us glory days. So I just found the argument strange, but yeah, it's an interesting one.
So do you think it's unique to Liverpool? Because there's plenty of other players who have left the Premier League and gone to Spain. They've gone with kind of blessing, haven't they? In some way, I'm thinking of Bale maybe, went with the blessing, Hazard, Rudiger, those sort of players. Cristiano Ronaldo went.
Yeah, I don't know. And, you know, I think you've just got to look at Trent Alexander-Arnold as, you know, as a player, what he's done for Liverpool so far. Like Stephen's just said, all of the things that he's achieved, everything that he's done for the club. And if he just feels like he wants a new challenge, a fresh challenge, then of course go and do that. I think the fans are probably split. I think there's obviously some fans that desperately want him to stay. Of course they do. Because, well, I think all fans desperately want him to stay. But I think there's some fans that'll say, OK, yeah, we've seen what he's done. He'll go to Real Madrid like yourself, and, you know, he'll go and achieve things with Real Madrid. And then I think there's others that are saying, well, why would he want to go? Because Liverpool could dominate now for a long period of time. So why does he not want to be part of that? Because he's a fan, because he's a local lad. So I think they're probably quite split, aren't they, when you speak to
the biggest reason there's an issue here is the fee. So all those players that you mentioned all went for money.
Yeah, and but Liverpool could have got a fee in January.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I think there's a feeling of, was that just a bit of a, can you put a bid in to make it look like we've received a bid? We were never going to receive it. But they could have accepted it, Liverpool, and took the 20 million. They could have sold him the year before and said, OK, we'll take 60 million. But then the gamble is, would you win the Premier League that season without Trent Alexander-Arnold in your team? So that's the gamble that you have to take as a football club and say, OK, do we sell him last season for, say, 60, 70 million with his contract running out? But then there's the opportunity where we go, we're weakening our team here. Arne Slot knows that he needs a player of his quality within the system that he wants to play. And they've almost said, we'll take the Premier League over the money, because that's worth more to us, because that then attracts other players towards the football club, and it also builds on our history. So they're the balances that you have to weigh up in sometimes in a football club. I'd take the gamble all day and say I'd rather have him in my team and try and win the league and it's paid off for you.
Yeah, in some ways, get it, because we're all football fans. But in any other walk of life, someone goes off and gets promoted to a different place, everyone is happy for them, like with Sue with Soccer Saturday, isn't it? It's like
we're delighted for
when she comes back here and says, "Oh, do I have to be here with you lot today?"
Yeah.
Boydie and Clinton wouldn't do this.
Yeah.
We're happy for her, aren't we?
We're made up for it.
Yeah.
Delighted.
This is terrible. I love you all equally.
All right, yeah. Let's talk Mo Salah and Virgil van Dijk. They've got that business wrapped up. Van Dijk in particular, that since the last time we spoke. How important is that? Where does he rank in all-time Premier League defenders? Put him somewhere.
Very difficult when you think of some of the players that have played in the Premier League and defenders, but I would have to say, personally, I think he's number one. I think he makes the game look effortless. I think he makes it look easy at times. The way his passing range, but also his composure in defending, how comfortable he looks at times. So I would say he is the best for me. But I think what was interesting about both these deals is, off the back of what Van Dijk spoke about when he signed, he said it's going to be a big summer for Liverpool. I think there was an element of, okay, where's Liverpool Football Club going as a club? Is it going to challenge for the next few years and match our ambitions as players? Because we're talking about a player who is potentially going to challenge for the Ballon d'Or this year in Mo Salah with Rafinha. I think they're the two players that will stand out this season. But then you've also got arguably one of the best centre-backs in world football, and they have ambitions to win trophy after trophy. The money's there no matter what. They could go to Saudi Arabia tomorrow and earn all the money in the world they wanted. That's what they can get no matter what happens. But what they can't get is guaranteed trophies. You've got to work at trophies. You've got to find a way of winning them. But you've got to bring new players into the football club. And I think there's an element of that, not only with Mohamed Salah and Van Dijk, but also with Trent Alexander-Arnold as well. If he's going to stay at the football club for another, what is he now, 26, Trent? So if he stays for another 6 or 7 years playing for Liverpool, what's that 6 or 7 years going to look like? What is the type of players we're going to sign? What money is going to be available to the manager each and every season? And that's the way players are looking now, because you've got to look at that, because they want to win more trophies.
OK, well, Liverpool could be Premier League champions on Wednesday. That's dependent on Arsenal. If not, they can win it themselves on Sunday. You can see their game against Spurs at Anfield. Super Sunday, 4 p.m, Sky Sports Premier League.